Hi everyone and welcome back to Inside Out Tennis. Here I'm playing my first match out in Egypt against Gregoriou, a Greek 30-year-old. I've known him for a while now, so yeah, lovely guy, we get along very well. And yeah, let's get into it. So for me it's always very important to have a high percentage of first serves at the start of the match. Often I go body or I go to my favourite patterns of play with regards to my serving. Just kind of settles you, helps you get a rhythm, and obviously the start of a match is an area where you can kind of exploit if your opponent's not on it. So yeah, I tend to be not extra safe, but safer than I usually am. And then as the match kind of progresses, then I kind of open up my patterns, I open up my shots. It's a beautiful shot there by George, and yeah, I mean you can see already that I managed to hit really good return there, got him on the run. He's going to have to come up with a lot. Yeah, there you go. He's not happy about that one. So 2-love, great start. Another solid serve tee. Try and get into that backhand exchange. I was actually watching a little bit of Rafa before this match, coming out court level, funny enough, so similar level to this. And I noticed that as soon as he got his opponent under pressure, he tends to use his forehand to move them around a lot. So it's actually a little bit of an inspiration. Great shot there by George. Managed to get back into that point pretty well. Thought I constructed it well actually as well. So anyway, so here we are, 2-love, 15-all. I'm sorry, I was mentioning about Rafa, and yeah, so obviously it's all relative to certain levels, but if you can get your opponent moving, they're certainly more likely to make a mistake. So that's kind of what my idea was today, or in this match anyway. As soon as I got him on the run, keep your foot down basically. So 3-love, 30-love to George. We're playing on centre court out in Sharm, which is a lovely big court. Kind of a bit of an optical illusion when you're serving. You feel it's probably tougher to get cheaper points, but when you're returning, you feel you're always in the service game, just because obviously you've got more space essentially. Good serve there by George. Pretty solid return actually, coming deep. On the run, nice. Felt moved really, really well actually. Maybe because the court is bigger, you feel you have a bit more of a backdrop. Well, you do have more of a backdrop, so you can, you're not, you don't feel so pressed with the space of the court. It's a great shot from there by George, back behind. 3-1. Nice, beautiful little 1-2 combo. As we all know, the most amount of shots, the highest amount of rallies in any kind of match play is between 0 and 4. So it's really important, or vitally important, to practice your serve, return, and +1 respectively. So serve +1, return +1. I feel that it's not really practiced enough. A lot of people like to find rhythm and all that good stuff, which is fair enough. It is important, but at the end of the day, there's no bigger shot than the serve in our sport. And I've often had it where I've been serving extremely well and haven't necessarily been great from the back, and I've won the match. Whereas I've had a few times where I haven't served great, felt good from the back, and lost. So it kind of shows how important the serve is. One of my old coaches was a big advocate of serving early on in sessions, just because your obviously mind's fresher, especially if you want to work on anything technical. And that kind of applies to every kind of shot. If you are working on anything technical, it's better to do it at the start. Just because, as I said, your mind's fresher, but often when it comes to serving especially, people do a session, they serve at the end, and by that point, if it's a 2-hour session or an hour and a half, you're obviously a little bit tired and it's harder to work on anything technical. So it's probably one big takeaway for training. Anyway, back to the match. So got the first set done. Nothing too fancy, to be honest, just running through my patterns, trying to make him play, trying to use the court. It was a little bit blustery. I mean, you can't really see it on the video actually. But obviously because it's a bigger court, you're more susceptible to wins, so you have to account for that. And so yeah, basically, as I said, as I alluded to earlier in the video, if I was on the up in a point, I tend to look to use my forehand to then move George around. I thought that worked pretty well. If I was down, then I'd play mostly cross court, or essentially try and make him play one more ball. So here we have another setup point. As I do more videos, you'll probably hear me talk a lot about setup points. Those are 30-alls, deuces, 30-15s, etc. 30-loves, points that really do get overlooked, but are actually vitally important. Case in point, if you are 30 love up, you win that point, you've got 3 bites of the cherry. Whereas if you obviously, lose that point, 30-15, you've only got 2 if you win the next one. And yeah, so basically you're just making life more easy for yourself. Tennis is a big momentum game, so obviously if you've got momentum, often you've had to work extremely hard to get it. So if you have got it, you don't want to let it up. So it's important to try and run through your service games as quickly as possible. High percentage of first serve. I think someone like Federer was, the best at that, to be honest. You'd often hear him going through games and matches without losing literally a point on his serve. So that's great. I think one of the best examples of that was the US Open circa 2009, maybe, against Feliciano Lopez. I can't remember exactly what he did, but I think he pretty much won, a set or 2 sets without dropping a point on the serve, which is absolutely nuts. But that's Federer for you. Anyway, back to this match. So 6-1, 3 love, 30 love up. Feeling good. Beautiful 1-2 combo there. Another serve +1. I felt in the match that I was really getting good width from my forehand. I felt the backhand was tracking a little bit too central for my liking. Something to look at and consider. Backhand line's always been a great shot of mine, so that's okay with that. But yeah, it's always very important, especially on bigger courts, to try and use the angles a bit more, because obviously it's bigger, so having to run, whereas I feel with smaller courts they can probably stand a little bit tighter to the baseline. Whether or not it's something that's conscious or not, I don't know, but there we go, nice little 1-2 combo. Get the width on the forehand and width on the backhand. I think it's always a good idea to try and find width as early on in the rally as possible, just to get your opponent running. There you go. Okay, I missed that one of it. No, I didn't. Beautiful. You see I've gone wide on the forehand, opened up the court line. Should have probably put that smash away, but okay, no worries. Put the second one away on a big point too. 15-30. Now I've got 2 bites at this serves to break on the serve. Let's see what he does. Yeah, there we go. So 5 love deuce. Now, although the scoreline was pretty comprehensive, we had some good points. It was competitive, I have to say. Nevertheless, you want to make sure that when your opponent's head's under the water, you want to keep it there. So he's going to be fighting to get a game or 2, and I want to basically not allow him to do that. Some of you might think that's a bit harsh, but at the end of the day, we're all competitors, and if you've got the chance to put your opponent down, not give him an inch, do it. It's it's not a trait that you probably want to have in your tennis game, and basically feeling sorry for your opponent and allowing them back into the match. So here we are, an ace to finish on. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed watching it. I really appreciate you guys watching it. It means a lot to me, and I'll see you in the next video.